Recording in progress.
Okay, we're going to start talking about a new unit today called electricity and circuits. So this is an introduction to this. All right. So I want to start off and talk about some definitions and vocabulary so we're on the same page. So first of all, some vocabulary. So electricity is the flow of electric current through some kind of conductor. Typically that conductor is a wire. Okay? And it's a flow of current. Okay? Well, current, okay, is the flow of charged particles. Typically electrons. Okay, in some kind of conductor. All right. In some kind of conductor. So one way to think about it is if you had a wire like this, and you had current moving, you'd have charged electrons moving through the wire like that. That would be current. All right. Current is the variable for current is I. Okay. It's measured in a unit called amperes. And those are abbreviated A. Okay. Another way to think about this is it's analogous to a water pipe. If I have a water pipe and I have water flowing through it, the water would be similar to current flowing through the pipe, and that flow in a pipe would be similar to the current. All right. All right. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about how we get a current to flow, right? And that's something that's important. So currents flow typically in a conductor, a wire, which forms a loop, a closed loop. And for current to flow, you've got to have a closed loop. And that closed loop is called a circuit. Okay, a circuit. And that circuit can be open or closed. For current to flow, you need a closed circuit. Okay? In order to have a circuit, you need some kind of power source, some sort of source of potential difference. That's your battery or some kind of power source. And the battery has a plus and a negative pole. And if you've ever looked at a typical battery, it has a little nub at the top. That's positive, and at the bottom, it's negative. This circuit also has a bulb. That bulb will light, and that bulb is a resistor. All right. And the current would flow from the battery around the circuit through the bulb and then back to the battery. All right. Okay. For the current to flow, okay, we need something called, for the current to flow in a circuit, we need to have, there must be a potential difference. Okay? That potential, there must be a potential difference. Okay? That potential difference is called voltage. The units for that, it's measured in volts. And the abbreviation is V. Okay? So let's talk about what a potential difference is. The battery, or the energy support, the potential difference is created by the battery. Okay? Okay. So what is potential difference? Well, one way to think about it is you have a dam. And behind the dam, you've got a lake. And that lake is high. And in front of the dam, you have a river. Well, because of the height of the lake and the dam above the river, there is a potential difference created by that height. Okay? And if I were to run that water through a turbine on the way down, I can use that to create electricity, energy. Okay? So the difference in height here is a potential difference. It's sort of like potential energy. The battery provides this. Here's another way to look at it. You have a pipe and you have high pressure and you have low pressure. The water in the pipe will flow from the high pressure to the low pressure. Okay? It's created by a pump. That pump is the battery. And the water flows because of potential difference. All right? Okay. Batteries, so let's talk about that. Batteries or power sources create potential difference. Okay? Okay. So sometimes we call this potential difference a voltage drop or a voltage. Okay? Or voltage. Okay? Sometimes that's the same. These are all synonymous. All right? Okay. So one last thing. In the circuit, there's a bulb. Well, that bulb is a resistor, R. Okay? Resistors impede the flow of current. So resistance restricts the flow of current. Okay? And it's abbreviated R. The units are ohms. And the abbreviation is omega. Greek letter. Okay? It restricts or resists the flow of current. One way to think about it, it's like a boulder in a stream. Resistance, the bulb on the bulb in the circuit that we looked at up here is a resistor. Okay? Okay, one last thing I want to talk about. If a circuit doesn't have a lot of resistance, in other words, it has a battery, no resistor, this is, if a circuit has no or little resistance, So current can flow unimpeded. That's called a short circuit. And that causes heat and potentially fire. We'll talk more about that later.